Here we have a Ferretti boat or yacht motherboard that came in for repair. The motherboard looks something like this. Customer came in and he said he wants super expedited service to fix the board and he wants it done today. He has somebody to come and check on it. They're doing some work on it and that person is leaving tomorrow. So they said they want this done today. Money is no issue as long as we can do it today. And what's nice about this board is the customer already knows what needs to be done and he brought the parts. How awesome is that? Let's go under the microscope. That's the motherboard right here. And we have this daughter board which is connected to the main board by the Flux wires that you see here. And let's take a look at this area. And look at this. We have 4 burnt components. 1, 2, 3, and he said he wants this part changed. He brought in all 3 parts, the big ones, and this one here. So our job is to replace the components and call him to come and pick up. The customer is coming from Pasadena, which is about an hour away from Northridge. So I think he's going to stay local here. He's going to go somewhere locally until we're done with the board, and then he's going to come to pick up. We're going to start by desoldering all components. We do not need to do any troubleshooting. We do not need to order any parts. Nothing. Oh, the smell is horrendous. The smell is too strong. Wow. It's like you're smelling fireworks times 10. Wow. That smell cannot be good. I think what we're going to do is use low melt solder. The smell is unbearable. We're going to use Flux low melt solder to remove those components. And the board is not too thick. I think it's a 2-layer board. So we do not want to expose the board to a lot of heat. And let's check the power of using low melt solder. We're going to start right here. And let's do the one right next to it. And we're going to do the one right next to it. Apply more low melt solder. Those are big components. They are not microscopic. They are big, so they're going to require more low melt solder. Unlike many of the microscopic components that we work on, where we only need a tiny bit, and I always mention it, a tiny bit goes a long way, but those components are big. And we're going to do this one. So we soaked the back with low melt solder. Now we have to do the front. See, we were able to remove that component out. We're going to do the same with the other one. That pin is already loose. That pin is already loose. That pin is already loose. And all we need to do is loosen the back by applying heat, and done. The power of using low melt solder. Wow. If you have not used low melt solder before, you are missing out. And a lot of you may be asking, where do I get low melt solder from? You should not be asking that question by now. You know that you can log into our site, NorthridgeFix.com, click on shop, and you can buy it from there, along with all the tools that you need. Most of the tools that we use on our bench here, you can buy off our site. We have everything in stock. soldering station, hot air station, grinding pan, power supply, voltage injection tool, tweezers, original Inventec Amtech Flux. Whatever you need, we have. Just order, check out, pay, and we almost always ship out same day. Very easy. It looks like this component may be fused onto the board. Why don't we cut the leads of that component and try again. Let's add more low melt solder on here. This component looks like it's fused to the board. Let's clean up, and then maybe we can apply a fresh layer of flux, and we'll try again. Now we are able to take that component out. And one more. Maybe we can cut the pins on that one also. And let's take this guy out. So now we removed all the components from the board. And look at this, we cannot see much on the board because we are working on big components under a microscope. So what we should do is use a barrel lens. For all of you who have purchased a microscope from us, our microscopes comes with something called a barrel lens, 0.5 and 0.75. Let's go for 0.5. By attaching a barrel lens, we will be able to see more on the board. I just attached a 0.5, and now we are able to raise up the microscope more, and the microscope will be able to focus. I think 0.5 is a bit too much. Let's go for 0.75. Otherwise, I will have to raise up the microscope a lot, and I do not need all that range. So 0.75 should be good. And you cannot see a thing. Okay. And we have the ring light. And look at this. Now we are able to see all three components at once. The three big components. We need our anti-glare light. Too much reflections. So now what we need to do is wake off low melt solder. We do not want to keep low melt solder on the board. Low melt solder is weak and fragile. Because some viewers ask, can I use low melt solder to solder a component? No. Use low melt to desolder, not to solder. And finally, we need to desolder this guy right here. And I see one crooked pad. That's not a big deal. A crooked pad will still make the boat go straight. Now let's go to the magic box and we're gonna take a look. I have two sets of components here, probably the big ones and the small one. I see the big ones here. We have 4 of them, but we're gonna need only 3. Let's solder the components one by one. I'm working at a very weird angle where the soldering iron is going from the back. Why don't we flip the board? The board is big and a lot of things hanging out from the motherboard. Go like that. All right, we are done with this one. And now we're gonna center this one. And do I have any more solder left on the tip? Of course I do not. Where is solder when you need it? And just a tiny bit of hot air. And finally this one here. And we have one more to go. We're gonna use Amtech wipes. And I told you from the last video that we got a large batch of Amtech wipes in the shop here. And they should be available for sale on our site. Maybe today or tomorrow. And look what Amtech wipes do. They absorb flux. Burnt flux will get stuck on the wipes. So Amtech wipes, along with 99% alcohol, removed all the gooey stuff on the board. And now I'm just using an ear swap to go over them one more time. We want to give the board back to the customer in a better than factory condition. Awesome. Just check on the pins, make sure everything is solid. And beautiful. And I'll put the rest of the components inside that box. Let me show you the board quick. Right there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, we are done. We're gonna call the customer to come and pick up. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll do something else in the next video.